Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also Mark Zicree of Space Command. But today I'm wearing my other hat, which is Mark Zicree, Mr. Politics. Now, the reason I have a Mr. Politics channel is because my friends on the Sci-Fi channel that I run didn't want it to be political. They wanted science fiction's big tent. They wanted everyone to be welcome, and I certainly concur with that. But every now and then I want to talk about politics or the world at large and be specific about my feelings, and that's why I created the Mr. Politics channel. And so now, as I always preface these videos, this is just my opinion, just one person's opinion. You may have a different opinion, that's fine, but I just wanted to speak from my point of view and get this out into the world. So this is about Gaza and the protests and all of this, I'll use the Yiddish word, mishigas, that's going on. Here's my whole thing. First of all, I'm Jewish. If my grandfather on my mom's side had not fled the Russian army wanting to draft him in World War I and instead joined the American army as a cook and then made his way after the war to Chicago, if not for that, everyone else in his family was exterminated back in Poland. And had he remained there, my mother, my grandfather, my grandmother, my aunt would have all been exterminated in the war, and I would not be here to make this video. So that's where I stand. Okay, I am a survivor of the Holocaust, very, very directly. And as a result, I have a very strong identification with that journey and that experience. And I'm very grateful that I'm here to tell the tale. And for those Jews who made it to America prior to the Holocaust, or even during the Holocaust, America was a haven for all of us. And I'm very grateful to this country, and I love this country. But here's what I will say about what's going on now with the protests and with Israel and with Palestine, etc. First of all, I think there should be a moratorium on movies about the Holocaust. Not that I don't think people need to know about it, I do, but I think it's too easy an out, because you go to those movies, the Nazis are always the bad guys, the 6 million Jews who were exterminated are the victims of genocide, and the righteous Gentile or whomever who helps save a few Jews is the good guy. And so we can watch these films and feel that certainly were we back then, we would be the good guy. We would be saving the Jews. We would be the righteous Gentiles or the righteous Jews. But we would take action against this atrocity, this genocide. And it allows us to feel like the good guys without having to actually do anything. People often say, why wasn't more done to avert the Holocaust? People knew what was going on. Why didn't we do more? And we're now in a very similar moment. And I think it is incumbent on all of us to recognize that genocide is occurring, crimes against humanity are occurring, and we have to speak, we have to act. If we are not on the side of humanity, then we are complicit. It's that simple a dividing line. It's not about the Palestinians versus the Jews or any of this, or Israel. It's not about Semitism, anti-Semitism, Zionism, anti-Zionism. It's not about any of that. After World War II, Eleanor Roosevelt and others were instrumental in working up the Charter of Human Rights and also the definition of crimes against humanity. The whole idea of this is that there are certain actions that, when taken, are so beyond any sane act of behavior that they become crimes, acts that no human being should commit, regardless of the situation. That's what's happening now. So here we go. And I think of it as this way. War is the enemy. When Hamas attacked the Israelis and killed 1,200 people, that was the beast of hatred, the beast of violence, the beast of a total lack of compassion and empathy being let out and running amok. But when Israel responded in the way they have, it's the same beast. It is giving in to the same beast. You want to know how you know the difference between justice and vengeance? It's very, very simple. Justice, you actually track down the people who committed the act, the crime, and you hold them accountable. You put them on trial. You put them in prison. I don't know if you approve of the death penalty or not. We'll leave that for another day. I don't personally. But you bring the actual perpetrators to justice. Vengeance is when you react to an act of violence. You react to a crime being committed against you by striking out at a group of people who had nothing to do with it. So you might kill some of the people who did the act, but you kill many, many, many more who had nothing to do with it, who were totally innocent as you or I. That's how you know. So when 9/11 happened and we attacked Iraq, which had nothing to do with 9/11, that was vengeance and not justice. So, but when we killed bin Laden, I would say that was justice. I mean, whether or not you believe in the death penalty, that was at least, holding the guy accountable for what he personally did. So now we're here with Israel, Gaza, Palestine, the West Bank, all of that. Here's what's going awry. As you know, the Israeli government is starving the population of Gaza. They're committing terrible, heinous acts. They're using computer programs to target certain individuals and then allowing 20, 30, 100 people, depending on the value of the target, to be killed along with that person. And they've decided that when these people sit down with their families, that's when they're the best target. So killing their children, killing their wives, killing their grandparents, that's irrelevant. And so this is how you create crimes against humanity. We either see other people as the other, the predator, the danger, or we see them as us. And empathy and compassion is what is needed. We have outgrown the jungle. We've outgrown living in trees millions of years ago, but we have not outgrown the programming that tells us to hate our own species, members of our own species. What must be done is the killing must stop immediately, the hostages must be returned, and Palestine ultimately should have its own voice. But more than that, this is about human beings. This is about humanity. This is not appropriate what's going on. This is one of the worst atrocities committed during my lifetime. And I just think that we all have to do whatever we can, speak out, protest, send help, do whatever to end this as soon as possible, and then begin the act of rebuilding everything that was destroyed and allowing people to wake up in safety and health and have happiness as part of their life. One other thought about all of this. In terms of the student protests, I think the colleges and the police are really wrong to be stifling this dissent, because for the first time in the lives of these students, they are witness to millions of people being selected out for deliberate starvation. They are witness to children and babies being murdered indiscriminately, and this is just thanks to the internet. Their empathy, their compassion is being awakened, and I think more than any other single factor, what you want a graduating class of students to emerge with is compassion, is empathy for other human beings. So rather than being ruled by selfishness, by greed, by looking out just for themselves, they need to have it encouraged and fostered in them to care about other people and the suffering of other people, and understand at last that humanity is one family, one species, one race, that we are all the same animal. And anytime someone gets up and they are given a raw deal, or they are selected out for group punishment for things they did not do, this is appalling. And the only way you can turn a blind eye to it is if you have no empathy for the other person, if you don't see them as exactly the same as you. When the question is how many babies is it okay to kill in war, the answer should be none. And we need to have a larger view of humanity. We need to have a larger view of our role in this world, and that will make a better world. So that's it for now. Talk again real soon.